All right, so a quick one. One of my students, contacted me. I said, Sam, but this Bitcoin guys in Nigeria are saying Bitcoin payments surpasses every other payments in the crypto space, all altcoins. And someone even made the same statement in my post today. And it's just so sad that people don't read. Now, if we check this stuff here, now I've posted. It said Bitcoin's Lightning Network transactions currently account for more payments than those of altcoins. Now, this is very, 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 very misleading. Now, guess what it did? Let's go back to Bitcoin, and this guy says, "We are those EOS people." And now they are thinking that this means that Bitcoin Lightning Network surpasses all altcoins because that is what the guy wrote. And it's misleading because this is not true currently. It might be true in the future, which I strongly doubt it's going to be possible in the future. But I'm going to tell you the reason why it's not true. And this does okay, not that one. I don't want to mention the EOS team. They have inflated the transactions. This is actually wrong and correct at the same time. And even an upvote on EOS is counted. One of the guys there said that this same thing was doing on Steam, and blah 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 blah. I agree totally. My specifically mentioned EOS is a constant blah 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 blah. Now let me tell you. Let me start from the misleading part. This statement is misleading and is wrong. Now, for we to know the correct thing, we have to go to the original article. First of all, let's go to Reddit. Now, Bitcoin Lightning Network payments have already surpassed all altcoins. Now, this was where the guy wrote and stopped, and they took it without doing their own research. Now, they forgot this other part at this retailer. Now, let me show you what this retailer means. Now, if you go to the original article in Forbes, this is Forbes. Now, Bitrefill as a company, right, made an article saying, in a recent appearance on the Bitcoin news show, Bitrefill's John Carvalho revealed that the Lightning Network now accounts for more payments to Bitrefill than any other altcoin they accept. Now, this is a company's testimony. They are saying as a company that the transactions they've received is occupied with more Bitcoin Lightning Network transactions more than more other altcoins. You see? They are not saying Bitcoin transactions worldwide. First of all, why would you think you've been in the crypto space for a long time, for more than 2-3 years? Why would you think that is true in the first place? Bitcoin is slow. Bitcoin has a block time of 10 minutes. So how can it possibly outdo something like Ethereum, BitShares, Steam, EOS, and Tron? Why would you think that? Why would you even accept it in the first place? It obviously means some people don't study. So what else? Lightning Network payments growing at Bitrefill. They didn't say worldwide. Bitrefill is a company. They were giving you their own testimony. It's increasing every day. It's increasing every day almost. Responded Carvalho when asked to comment on the amount of Lightning Network payments received by Bitrefill. This is a company's report, not the general report in the whole world. But let's go and check something else. Now, the reason why I'm doing this thing is because several people ask questions because they saw this stuff, and instead of doing just a video to explain to one person, I decided to do a video in case anyone asks. I'll give the person the video to watch, the link to video to watch, because this is very misleading. So he says, I don't want to mention that EOS thing. They have inflated the transactions, and I told you guys that this is actually true and false at the same time. Let me explain why it's true and false. Now, first of all, where people are getting this information from is Blocktivity, because they said that everything that is here, my laptop is down, I need to charge. Everything that is here has to do with comments, likes, and blah blah blah. Of course, that's true because there are no social networks on Steam. sorry, on the Bitcoin network, so you can't possibly have those recorded. Secondly, you can't build social networks and dApps on Bitcoin. So, but you can do that on Ethereum, Steam, and all these other blockchains. Now, one other thing that they are missing out, which is also very funny, because a lot of people get to a stage that they stop studying, and it's wrong. Now they are thinking that this stuff is only applicable to Bitcoin, to EOS, and Steam and BitShares, but it's wrong. If you notice, this point here is OP. This guy here is TX. This guy over here, the rest are OP. What this thing means is this. I'll drop a link so you guys can read this article. For your information, even the oldest chain, which is Bitcoin, is grouping its operations in transactions. There is around 2.5 transfers in each transaction, and if you've been doing your own study, your research, you know that this is actually true. If you do one Bitcoin transaction, there are about 2 to 3 transactions in one Bitcoin transaction. So for that reason, he now said, should I count one when 3 transfers are done but are grouped in one transaction? This is what happens in Bitcoin. Now that is why in Bitcoin, if we were to go by this statement, right? If we were to go by these inflated transactions, that means Bitcoin is also inflated, because if you notice, this is operations, this is not transaction. So this thing means this 850 transaction that is here, sorry, operations that is here, means that there are about, you have to divide that 850 transactions by what is written here, because there are 2.5 transactions in one Bitcoin transaction. You see, so this statement, it's actually wrong. So what Blocktivity does is, since different blockchains function differently. For example, if you make a transaction on the Ethereum blockchain, one transaction can carry several transactions embedded in them. As you can see, on Ethereum is also operations and not transaction. The only guy that has transaction is Wax. So each Wax wasn't grouped into operations. It is grouped into transaction, right? So it's very, very misleading. I had to do this video today because someone asked me in my group. I have some set of students that I teach about Bitcoin, teach them about Bitcoin, about cryptocurrency as well, about blockchain, all types of blockchain, both Bitcoin, Ethereum's blockchain, all this blockchain. I teach people about them, how they are used, and blah blah blah. Yeah, I know I mostly talk about EOS, but definitely I read about all blockchains, because in this kind of space that is moving so fast, you can't stick, you can't just afford to be ignorant. You wake up one day and find out you are outdated. So I had to do this video, in order to clear that that stuff in people's head. First of all, this statement is wrong. Like I said, is very, very misleading. This is a company statement. It cannot be the number of transactions in the world, because if you go to